Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to Delaware Resource Group Superstar Athlete of the Week, Kailey Campbell, senior from Oktaha, Oklahoma, who finished runner-up in the Missouri State Payne Stewart Invitational. Tell us about that event. That was your best career finish here at OCU.
We had a lot of practice going into this event. We worked really hard going in, and I think we were just very prepared. We were really motivated. I think we're going to be really good this season, and so the team worked really hard, and I worked really hard with them, and so just paid off at the end. Yeah.
Next up, an event at Penn State, the Nittany Lion Invitational. What's that going to be like?
It's probably the biggest event we've played so far. There's a lot of really, really good teams in this event. I think we're really excited going into it. I think we're going to do really well. The girls have been working really hard. We've been working very, very hard. And we're just super pumped to be there. So we're going to be amongst a lot of good teams. So.
Your team is ranked 4th in the NAIA right now. What are your team's expectations for the season?
We have very high expectations for this year, probably the highest we've had since we've been here. In 2014, we won the national championship, and we were a really good team that year, but I have a lot higher expectations for this team. I think we're going to go out and win a lot of tournaments during our season and hopefully repeat that and do it again.
You're one of 5 seniors on the women's golf team. What kind of bonds have you formed with your teammates over the years?
Those girls are definitely my family. We've been around each other 24/7 while we're at school. For the last 4 years, I've formed the best friendships through this program, and I'm just so lucky to have all of these girls. They're definitely family.
And over those years, 3 conference titles, 1 national championship. What memories will you take away from your time at OCU?
There's been a lot. There's been so many memories with these girls. We have a lot of fun going on our van rides, on our trips. We're going to tournaments. We travel a lot to go to tournaments, and we just had a lot of fun memories just being together like that. But definitely my favorite memory is coming up 18 in the national championship my freshman year, and us being able to tie and go to a playoff, and the team chemistry that we had during that playoff is definitely my favorite memory that I've had since I've been at OCU.
Do you have a favorite course that you've played?
We've played a lot of really nice courses in this program, but Oklahoma City Country Club, we get to play it a little bit for qualifying and practice out there a little bit, and that's definitely my favorite course, even though we get to play it quite a bit. So.
What's your major here at OCU?
I'm in nursing school here at OCU.
So what are your career goals as far as what area of nursing you might want to be interested in?
I would like to be a surgical nurse. I like the chemistry of the surgeries and stuff like that, and like what goes on in there. I just think it's kind of more of a chill environment, and I'd like to go into that.
You're telling me that surgery is a chill environment?
Well, more chill than the floor. The floor's, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot going on in surgery, but I think that's what I want to do.
All right, we're talking to Delaware Resource Group Superstar Athlete of the Week, Kailey Campbell. You can follow the Stars golf teams on OCUsports.com.
There's a call to be answered. The spirit of competition is still alive inside. The desire still drives. The phrase student athlete has a great ring to it. Lasting friendships are ready to be made. You just want to keep playing. Game on. Learn more at NAIA.org.
Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to track and cross-country coach Matt Aguero. The Stars men's team ranked 2nd, the women's team ranked 8th in the cross-country polls. And Coach, tell us about the Central Oklahoma land run that your teams ran in recently.
We did well. Our women finished 2nd overall. We had real good performances from our senior, Sarah Moore. She was 3rd overall in the race. Michaela Warner was right behind her in 4th, who's a junior for us. And that's about where I expected us to finish 2nd. In that race, and then with OSU coming up, I think we'll perform a little better. Hopefully, we can pull a win off at that meet. On the men's side, we finished third. The whole team is, probably 50% of our team has been sick in the last 2 to 3 weeks. And usually it hits mid-October. So I'm hoping we get it out of the way and then we can put together a real good training block now. So just get it done with early. But 2 of our top runners were sick, so we held them out of that meet. And the men were only, I think, 8 points behind first place. So I feel with those 2 guys, we probably would have won pretty easily.
You mentioned the Cowboy Jamboree at Oklahoma State's coming up this week. What are your expectations going into that one?
Well, we want to, for some of our younger kids, I think it'll be a good race. It'll be their first big meet for some of the freshmen we're bringing in. The land run's a little smaller. I think there was 7 teams there and 11 women's teams. OSU will be quite a bit bigger. It's a true cross-country course, very hilly, tough course. So I think we'll do well there. We're hoping to run a full squad. Like I said, we have a few people that are sick, but I think they'll be over it hopefully by Saturday when the race is. Really, our bigger meet is the Chili Pepper in Fayetteville, which is the week after. So we're not putting too much emphasis on this. We're kind of training through this. We had a pretty hard workout today. And then next week is where it's a fast course. We hope to run some fast times there. So we're just kind of training through this race and treating it more as a workout rather than a hard race for us.
What has shaped your coaching philosophy?
Well, I've been running since as long as I can remember, it seems like. And I've had an opportunity to work with some really great coaches. Obviously, Connor Holt, who was the head coach here before me, I spent the last 2 years working with him. He was a 2-time coach of the year. And my first coaching job was at Virginia Intermont College. I was an assistant coach there for Scott Simmons. He won 5 NAIA cross-country championships, was a 5-time coach of the year. And so I learned a lot from him. And even my college coach, Susan Payne, down at East Central, I think those 3 people have influenced me a lot, as well as high school coaches. And then just a lot of reading and going through USA track and field clinics has kind of helped my philosophy. One thing I know that I've learned from those coaches is you want to have an athlete-centered program. And I think if you put the focus on the athlete to get them to their full potential, then you're going to have a solid team. So if everybody's running on their full potential, then you're going to have a good team and be successful.
What do you look for in a prospective student athlete?
Well, the first thing, I always say it's easier for us than some other sports. We don't have to watch video or game footage of them. We can see a time by their name and results and know whether we want them on our team or not. So that's the first thing we look for is times, usually track times because all tracks are the same. Cross-country courses can be different. Some can be hilly, some can be really flat. So we usually look at track times. And once we see that, then we go on to seeing, okay, well, let's see what their grades are. We try to recruit good students to the school. So after those 2 things, then we usually get them in on campus, make sure they mesh in with the team and mesh well with the coaching staff. And once we get through that, then we know whether we really want them here or not.
Obviously, you're a big runner yourself. How many miles a week do you run?
Well, currently I'm not running very much. I've had an injury over the summer, so I'm just getting back into running here in the last few days. Back in my heyday, I felt like I was I kind of experimented with myself sometimes. And I've learned a lot of doing some, where they're doing really high mileage, doing lower stuff with a lot of speed. And for me, kind of the sweet spot for me was about 120 miles a week. That's where I felt like I was the fittest. I'd done some crazy stuff where I was doing like 150s, and I think that was just too much. I ended up kind of being burnt out or injured.
You've competed in both the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon as well as the Boston Marathon. What can you tell us about your experiences in those 2 events?
Well, Oklahoma City is, I've ran it a couple of times doing some relays and things. The only time I ran the full marathon was 2005. And I ended up winning it that year. It was kind of just a weird event. I came from behind and caught the leader with about probably a quarter mile to go. Oklahoma City is awesome because it's my home state. It's where I live now, and just the event as a whole and what it stands for is pretty important. But you never know about the weather. There's been times that it's held. There's been times that it's rain delayed. I had a pretty good day that day. The weather wasn't too bad. It got a little hot towards the end. Sometimes you wake up and it's 80% humidity and 75 degrees outside. Boston, on the other hand, you usually know you're going to get pretty good weather there in April. The event is huge. People from all over the world come to it. They usually have about 30,000 athletes. And just the race in itself is really amazing, but all the stuff that goes into it before it, the people in Boston just go crazy over it. So, you'll go there and you get on a subway and people will see you wearing a running shirt and they're like, oh, you're running the race? Here, take my seat. You got to rest. So just things like that. They treat you like, like you're an elite runner, no matter if you're finishing first or if you're finishing 30,000th.
Got a new assistant on staff this year, David Crines. What can you tell us about what he's going to bring to the program?
Oh, David Crines is an awesome coach. We're very, very blessed to have him on our staff. He's been coaching for 20 years, has his doctorate, knows tons about coaching, form, all sorts of things you need to know to be a great distance coach. I've known him for about 6 or 7 years now. We met at a coaching clinic. I was real impressed with him. I've been able to see his high school teams over the past few years and just how dominant they've been. And so to find out that he was interested in the position, I was very excited about it. I'm glad we were able to get him on board. He's going to do some great things for us.
OCU alum Kyle Wardwell went to Rio this summer and was a guide runner for the Paralympics.
Yes.
What can you tell us about that?
I actually just got to meet with Kyle today. He just got back from Brazil. Maybe an hour ago, he showed up in my office. So it was good to see him. They did really well there. The runner he was running with had an injury at the Olympic trials, had a fracture. And so she kind of had to do some other things, some cross training to get ready, and hadn't had a lot of time to prepare for the Paralympics. She did well. Him and her, they both qualified for the finals. Didn't quite get to the podium, but it's an honor to be there and to make it to the finals in the 1500 meter. He mentioned that he was going to continue. I think they're going to take a little time off, and he's going to continue to help her and prepare for an outdoor season. So it's cool to see guys like that going on and doing some good things. And he mentioned that they're going to the White House. Now all the Olympians and Paralympians are getting invited to the White House. So it's an amazing experience for him, and it's great he's a great guy, hard worker, so it's great to see him doing some impressive things.
What do you feel like makes OCU unique?
There's a lot of stuff. One, it's a great school. People, the prestige of it, especially in the state of Oklahoma, people look at OCU and know if they come here, they're going to get a good education. One thing that I tell recruits is, we have the small school atmosphere, but we're in the middle of the big city. So you get the best of both worlds. You get the small class sizes, you get to know your professors, you get to know your classmates, but then you can find anything else here in Oklahoma City that you need as far as entertainment and those types of things.
All right, we're talking to track cross country coach Matt Aguero. You can follow the stars on OCUsports.com.